Hello, everyone. This is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So today, I'm hoping to finish off the front view and, get a good start on the back. The front is almost done. I just have to really finish designing the shoes, mostly. But before I get into that, I was looking at the nice cozy coat here, and I think it looks good. But the more I looked at the arm that I decided to let just kind of fade into shadow, the more I disliked leaving it like that. So what I'm going to do is just put the slightest hint of some patterns there. Hold on, got an itch in my eye. The worst place to get an itch, I swear. Okay. At least it wasn't my nose for once. Anyway, I just want to put the slightest hint of pattern through there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay attention to where I put these things. So there's one kind of wrapping around the underside of her arm here. And I'm not going to go into full detail. I'm just going to, put small hints of it out there. Just tiny, tiny little hints. And it's still going to be vague. And I'm not going to do that much with it. And it's not even going to go all the way across. Okay, and the next one, we might see a little bit of it just right here. And I think that this will just make it look a little bit better and a little bit less lonely. Okay, and then just a couple of little loops. I'm not even going to draw both sides of them. I'm only going to draw one side, so it's going to look a little bit more like this. I might draw the occasional hint of the other side of this loop here. But I do just want to keep it really, really vague. So everything's going to be a little bit more broken up, a little bit more messy. And that will still be pretty fast to draw, and I think we'll make it look a little bit less. I think that it is doing great. I actually... Okay, I changed. I was thinking about drawing some of the extra lines that I have going through, but I don't think it's necessary. So I won't. I won't do it. Okay. I think that's enough. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up a little. It is a little messier than I want to leave it. But that will be the extent. And once again, I'm going to change the shape here just a touch and let some of the fluffier parts kind of stick out. Just make those look a little bit more three-dimensional. I was considering whether or not I wanted to clean it up first, but nah, I'll just do it now. It's all good. I can do it. And I think over there is fine, so I'll do a little bit over here where it'll all kind of stick out. I don't think it sticks out there. Maybe a little bit here. Okay. And now I can just clean in peace. And just kind of finalize a bunch of those little details. Get everything smooth, and I think that's all I gotta do here. Maybe I'll add one more little line right there. And through here, I wasn't consistent with a lot of things like I was over here, where I tried to be a little bit more deliberate. But I think that actually works, just fine here. I think it looks just fine. Sometimes keeping things simple and a little bit more abstract is just the way to go. I mean, you saw last time I was planning on literally just leaving it such that this entire area was just one solid color. So I definitely don't want to get too caught up in anything at all. Okay. And let's see, after this, I think the only other corrections I want to make is just a little bit on the dress. I'll talk about that once I get there, but that's about it, really. Okay. I'm actually pretty happy with how all of this looks so far. So I think I should be able to move on very shortly. And I'm also realizing on the little wings here, I'm considering with the angle that they're facing on whether or not this little gray spot should. I haven't decided, because it's clearly on the back of the wing and we're seeing the front of the wings. I haven't decided yet. We'll see what I feel like. I do think I will do the wings before I do the shoes, though. But I will fix the rest of the dress before I go in and do the wings. I think I mentioned last time, like, it doesn't really matter which area I do first. I can do either order, it's all good. But I just like the idea of having the entire upper body finished. Being able to just kind of check it off the list I find very satisfying, so just being able to gradually finish areas, I like it. It makes me happy, so I'll go ahead and do that. But for now, I've got a little bit more pattern to render, and thus a little bit more mind-numbing work that always makes me very slightly insane. But it's okay. It is worth it in the end. This little sweater here, it looks so cozy. I like it. I like it. It just looks very soft. Okay. And just a couple more layers to go. So I got one more of, these little more linked circles here. And then just a little bit more of the braid, which I am fortunately not being as precise as last time, so it should go a lot faster. Didn't like where those were, so I decided to go ahead and erase for now. And I will rehome them, so this way they can have better spots. Okay. And I do think by keeping a lot of the patterns a little bit more vague like this, it'll still make it look like everything's going into the back. It helps that I'm also using the shadow color. Shade everything. As opposed to a lighter one. So it should just look like all the colors are just slowly vanishing. And everything is going into shadow. It is going into the darkness. Okay. So this is getting kind of pulled out like this, and that's fine. Don't have to worry too much about anything at all. Okay, and there's the bottom. So see, it wasn't so bad. It's not like yesterday where I had to spend a bunch of time really digging into the pattern and getting it right. I just needed to clean it up a little. And when zoomed out, it looks similar enough to this that I think it is very readable. So, now to fix the couple of things I wanted to fix about the dress. And basically the way that I've been thinking about this is the dress is narrow, but it is wider than up here, so there should be a few more folds, or longer folds, coming out of this. So I just wanted to make them a little bit longer. Or at least a couple that are a little bit longer. I think I like that one being short. That one's good. There should be some short ones too. But there we go. That's kind of what dresses do when they're a little bit wider below the waist. And this is all very normal. Most dresses do fan out just a little bit below the waist. Just so that this way, the upper body can be nice and thin and wrap around the body more tightly and give a nice silhouette, and the bottom will be wide enough that you will not have your legs be stuck when you try to walk. Like there's certain patterns in dresses, particularly in what I think is referred to as the mermaid's tail, where it hugs around your hips very, very tightly, fans out a little bit, and then gets a little bit tighter near the bottom, typically around the knees or ankles. And those always looked very hard to walk into me. Looks like you'd have to take very, very small steps, because your legs are just trapped. And that's not the feeling I want to give here. I want to make it clear that it is wider down here. And then just in terms of personal taste, I actually want this fold to go further down. No, I don't want another one there. Here, yes. There, no. Oh, I don't have the layer locked? Whoops. I feel like I've been doing that a lot lately. Okay, and I will go ahead and follow the shadow here. Just make him look like he's folding with the dress, and then it's just a matter of cleaning everything up, as always. You can see when I'm zoomed out, this line looked much neater, but now that I'm zoomed in, oh god. And I colored outside the lines in a few places. I'm so sad. Okay, but now that I've zoomed in, you can see that it's a little bit rougher. I'm actually thinking of using that kind of thing to potentially speed up drawing for certain rougher images. Like, I like going through and making everything nice and smooth, but if I want to finish an image fast, it might make sense for me to just... how to say, reduce the size of the image when I'm done. So that this way, people will get something closer to my zoomed out view without me having to go in and smooth everything out like this. What can I say? I just like uploading really high-res images. It makes me happy. Actually, I should probably erase slightly here. I want to follow the fold just a little here. There we go. So that is also something I've been thinking about. Okay, so I think something like that will kind of show the dress going up on the leg a little bit better, and I think that all looks very nice. So the next thing I'm going to do is the wings, but before I do that, I want to make a slight adjustment to her feet. And I want to make her stance a little bit more triangular. Because right now, it kind of looks like this leg is coming up here. If I were to draw it on the body, it'd be like this. Like if I follow that line. And that is obviously nonsense. So what I want to do is make her stance a little bit more triangular. So I'm going to move her leg over here. Right now I'm moving the leg and the foot together, but I can already tell I'm going to have to straighten out that foot there. So this way it looks like it's sitting on the floor. Admittedly, that pose is kind of cute too. I might look into it, but I did kind of like just the very firm stance. Okay. That should be good. That is strangely cute, actually. But just her foot going up there, doing a little tap. But let me at least look what it would look like if her foot was more firmly planted on the ground like it was before. Kind of just lining up the plane of the ground. I think right there should be good. Okay, so now I can zoom out, get a good look at the whole thing, and I can just compare. Yeah, everything just looks much more stable like this. Okay, yeah, I'll still go with this. All right. Is that everything I kind of want to fix up here? Yes. Okay, so in order to finish up the upper body, there's two things. We have a bracelet. We have little wings. I think I'll do the little wings first. So I have to think about their position here. And the way that it works on the puppy here is that it looks like they're kind of attached to the shoulders. I'm under the impression that there's kind of a backpack there at some point too, which is why I put a backpack on my design. And I'm thinking about, with what I've drawn here, on whether or not any of it would show, and I do believe a little bit of it would show. I guess I'll make a new layer for it. It should be on top of the wings. Okay, so I want to look closely at what I have here, and where I think a backpack would sit on her. So this is roughly the center. Then I see that the way I have it touched is it doesn't quite hit the back of the headphones. So those are sitting pretty casually around her neck, but I don't really think that they're hanging down. I think they're wrapping pretty firmly. I'm letting these kind of drape onto her chest. And headphones are not normally that big, I don't think. So it'll go just below her neck. So probably to about here. And it's wide enough that I think it would show on this side just a little bit. And I have it... How far do backpacks normally go? Alright, I'm gonna have to deal with my internet still being slow while I'm streaming. But I'm gonna go ahead and look up a picture, in theory. Alright, well, while I wait for... Okay, no, there it goes. Maybe it should... Okay, so how wide are they usually? Are are they wider than people? My view of how big backpacks are is kind of skewed because my daughter is very tiny. She just started kindergarten, so we had to get her a normal sized backpack because a small one that suited her frame better was too small for what she needed it for. And so we got her a normal sized one, and it like devours her entire silhouette. It's like almost as big as she is. So my view on proportions of backpacks is a little bit skewed because I am just used to it on a very tiny human, a little tiny kindergartner, as opposed to how it would actually be on someone older. Someone who will probably not be doing a lot more growing. Okay. Not super wide. So it might show a little bit here, and about how far do they go? They definitely overlap at the waist. They're a little bit longer than the waist, so probably down to about here. Oh god, that is a horrible, horrible tangent. I need to make it wider. Okay. It kind of eats a silhouette, too. Oh well. Okay, well, this is fine. Basically what I was thinking about is I kind of like this fold on the cardigan for silhouette purposes. Like, let me finish drawing the straights here. Just the straight parts here, and I'll show you what I mean a little bit more directly. I don't think any shows on the other side. It's not that big. Okay. And this is going to be the back of the backpack. So I'll let it kind of go into the background like this. And I don't think any will show above her shoulders, right? Yeah, it kind of gets lost in the shoulders there. And at most, we might get some of this little red tag. I have it sticking out the bottom. So I'll go ahead and do that here. We'll get a little tiny bit of red tag right there. Okay, and I think that should be consistent, roughly. So I can show you guys what I mean. So if I put the silhouette on, now this side is suddenly flat. Whereas what I had before I drew the backpack had this little bump there. And that's kind of how I was reading it. I don't think this really affects it. At most, it might make her seem a little bit thicker than she is, but I think it looks fine still, so I'm not going to worry about it. But that's basically what I meant. I liked that little bump for silhouette purposes. I thought it just made everything look a little bit more interesting. Okay. So. Next, I guess it's time for the wings. And I was thinking about how they connected to the backpack here. I don't think this one is really in the right place. If I think about where the backpack's coming out, we're gonna have it kind of like doesn't go quite up to her neck, so it's gonna be kind of like this with the way it's sitting on her back. So I need this one to come in. I think this one needs to go out a little bit more. So we'll just casually slide things this way just a little bit. And I think perspective-wise, this part is sticking in a little bit too much. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out a little bit more. Make it just a little bit bigger. She's not really turned that much. It's a pretty basic 3/4. And I don't want this edge to overlap with the headphones. Like, I don't want the curve of the headphones to immediately go into the curve of the wing. That's kind of terrible. I kind of have to decide where I want to put this. Is her chin too close to the headphones? I think a little bit. So I think I'm going to end up moving that headphone cup anyway. So I'm just going to put the wings where I think that they make the most sense. And then I will adjust the headphones a little bit so that this way it doesn't overlap quite so much with the chin and this wing. So I'll let this one come back a little bit. Okay, that looks a little better. Okay, let us adjust that headphone cup. I'm not quite sure where I'm gonna put it, but it can't be there. Okay, I think here will be okay as long as I adjust the shadow. So right now, I just don't like the way the shadow is going into that thing there, so I'm just going to make it a little shorter. I changed my mind. I'm going to make it a little longer. We'll let it go more around. It's fine. It can go all the way around if I'm so inclined. And I think that looks fine. Since I'm having it go all the way around like that, I just kind of wanted to adjust a couple of things about it. I'll make this side a little bit thicker so that this way it looks like the light is more coming from above and it's a little bit more consistent in that regard. Okay. There we go. Shape crisis resolved. I'm sure it seemed very minor, but those little things do make a difference. The shapes will read a little bit better now. Because now it's like, I will adjust the angle of this wing a little bit, but what I didn't like was the way that this was going up and around, and then is just immediately feeding into the wing. Where they're using the same curve. The curve should vary a little bit like that. And then here, I just felt like I needed a little bit more distance here. I don't know, it just felt weird. Sometimes you just gotta feel it. Alright. And I do not believe that the little gray circles show on this side. So I want to get rid of them. And now I can adjust all these things that have to be adjusted here. And okay, one more minor adjustment on the headphones. I want to make it look like it's more pressing up against her neck completely here, so I'm gonna fill in this little gap. The way I had it before, like this, it looks like there's a little bit of a gap between her neck and the headphones, so that would suggest that they're a little bit further back on her neck. And with that getting rid of, now that I've gotten rid of it, it looks like the back of the headphones are probably pressing right up against her neck, and there is no space. And that is more in line with what I want to do. Okay. So now I just curl things around and we get nice lovely wing shapes. Gonna go ahead and do the outside before I do the inside. I do just like getting the general shape of everything right and then worrying about the shading inside afterwards. This one I don't really have to worry, the entire thing's going to be in shadow. I might put a little bit of white at the top, but no, entire thing's going to be in shadow. The only reason it's not right now is because it's literally a duplicate of the other side, and I never fixed the lighting. But much like this arm, I'm just going to put this entire thing in shadow. Okay. Let me double check the shape of the wings here. Okay. It's very tight. So only this one really sticks out enough to get a curve. The rest all kind of just... it goes in. Like this. Yes. This one might be a little thick, but that's the gist. So up until now, everything was kind of ambiguous, and that was fine. But now it is time to make things no longer ambiguous. Now it is time to finish things. How many wings are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm adding an extra one. Which means this should come up right here. And this should come back a little bit more. Might actually be easier to carve it out if I just draw the straight line there. I'll keep the front one out. I like that shape. That one's okay. But the rest... there we go. There we go. Okay. You know what? I should just do this now. Okay. This way I won't get distracted by where I put shadows before. Alright, I'm going to study the shape of this one more time. So things start out pretty horizontal, and then it gets a little bit steeper as I go further down. I can do that. I can make those kinds of shapes. So here's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this will be the last one. And he's just gonna be very, very small. There we go. Yeah, that definitely feels more accurate. This just goes to show the value of drawing things in big shapes first, and then breaking it down into smaller ones after. So it was much easier for me to draw the wing as a complete shape, and then turn it into these smaller shapes after. So let's see if I can do that better on this side. So first, I get the big shape here. Okay. And now Let's get the big shape of the wings. I'm going to let this front one stick out a little bit more than the rest. Do you know what? I actually think that this shape is important enough, and I will be drawing it on the backside anyway. I'm actually going to just completely hide her. We'll hide the body. We will hide the backpack straps, the backpack itself, the headphones, her head, bracelet I guess can stay, the backpack straps, and the dress. Okay, and I need to get rid of the back arm. There, now I can see the entire wing. It's like I will have to draw this at some point anyway. So, you know what? Let's actually think about this. Let's think about the shape of the backpack here. I'll go turn her dress on briefly so that this way I can know where that backpack is going to sit. So that. This will show me the location of her back. And this way, I will know where to actually put things. So about how far on her back do I think it goes? Let's see, this is the middle. I think it probably goes out like this. Then down here, and I should put the headphones on too, just so I don't send it too far up. Yeah, and you can see that this is actually fine because it's the back of the headphones that I care about, and it is not hitting the back. So this feels correct so far. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the opacity on the headphone layer here. Leave everything nice and ghostly, just so I know where it is. Okay. So if this was a normal illustration, I wouldn't really bother doing anything like this. The only reason I'm even bothering at all is because I already know that I'm going to be drawing the backside anyway. So if it helps me make the wings more accurate on the front view so I don't just have to flail and redraw the entire thing on the backside, you know what? I might as well just do it now. It's all good. Okay, but I think that looks pretty good. I will hide this belt. It is kind of in the way. Okay. And I'll go ahead and adjust these angles too. I'll have to redraw the tag, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's fine. Okay, and I can even draw some of the details from the front of the bag onto this, since this will become the backside once I flip it all around. So this is one of those things where normally, you know, this would be the part pressing against her back as opposed to the part away from her back like this. But just due to the nature of what I'm drawing here, I can draw some of the things that will show up on the back view on the front here. Like, in reality, that doesn't make sense, right? No sense at all. But it's going to be hidden by her jacket, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that it makes no sense. And if I draw this now, if I know where that pocket is going to be right now, I'm going to put it on another layer. Then I can draw the tag in a little bit more of an accurate spot, and in fact, it looks like it might not show up at all on the front side. So let's get that pocket in there. I do believe it is something like this. And I don't think I have my shadow colors at all here, so I'll have to... Do I have my shadows over there? Oh, I do on the coat, of course. So I want to show where the side of this pocket is going to be too. Well, I wasn't expecting to be drawing this right now, but that worked out, I guess. I figured I wouldn't do it until the back view, but then I just realized that if I didn't know... I didn't know how to draw it on the front view here. I wasn't quite sure what to do. And thus... I figure if I draw it right now, then I will just have this ready for the back view once it comes time to draw it, and I will know exactly how it looks, so I won't just have to redraw it on the front view and make my life very awkward. Because I'm pretty sure that if I tried to draw this without thinking about the back view at all, I would have gotten it wrong. I mean, I already did, considering that little tag that I was planning on. I thought it showed. It does not. You can see, I got my pouch there. This is gonna come out here like this, and the zipper's gonna go like here, which means the tag is probably gonna be here in her hip instead, based on where I have it here. I'm not gonna draw all the details yet. Some of this can definitely be saved for when it is time to do the back view, but I'll get the basics in here. Okay. So that's going to be that little pocket. Okay, and I think that's good. I have shown where all that's going to be. I'll go ahead and group them now. I'll put the wings inside as well. Actually, I'll leave the wing time being so that this way I can reduce the opacity on the backpack and I can figure out where those wings should attach. I probably should have, you know, just done this first. But I wasn't initially planning on drawing this much of so I figured I'd estimate and it'd be fine. Okay, I'm actually gonna just draw the entire wings from scratch here. I don't like them anymore. So I'm gonna have one wing. Okay. In that case, I think I want this part to come out a little bit more. Actually, if I'm gonna do that, I need to do it on the other piece too, so I might as well just select both of them. Okay. We pull it out a little bit until I am satisfied with where the wings should go. Okay. So here. And now I can think about the wings. So the idea is that they're circular. So there's going to be a circle, like, or ellipse, so it's not going to be a perfect circle. It's going to connect about here and Let's see if this goes up like that. Probably about here. So I'll draw the big circles there, where the wings will come out. The button is going to be about there. I guess I can draw it. Just so this way I know where it will be. So, kinda... no, the other way. Kind of like that. Then the other one will be... oh, that's a little high, isn't it? Goes here. I'm gonna hide the wings just so I don't get confused. So yeah, I do think that the big button that attaches is gonna be like this. And then the other one is gonna be over here. I'm just trying to figure out the facing of the ellipse here. It's gonna be sitting like right there. Alright, seems okay. And then we have the big wings. So the center of the wing will be sitting inside of this button. So they are quite large. And it comes out and does that kind of shape. Comes back down. And comes up like this. Nice and swooping. So that kind of shape, yes? Yes. This one feels a little bit skinny, so I'm kind of putting a little bit more girth on him. And I guess the wings touch. I guess here they're more on the side, and they're also probably a bit smaller. I had to scale it up to let it match with human proportions. But I think that's fine. I will check the silhouette again after this, just to make sure it's all lining up, because I see that these are significantly lower than what I initially planned. Okay. And I'll go ahead and smooth the entire thing out right now, since, you know, this is all gonna go in the back anyway. So this isn't just being particular about stuff that's gonna be hidden. This is gonna show. Just not until I do the next view. But I might as well just do it now. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and just smooth out all this. I just noticed this little bit here, and I wanted to shave it off a bit, so here we go. And this top feather I already know is going to be very round, so I'm not sure why I tapered it like that. Okay. And I'll go ahead and draw the top feather here too. And it's a very roundness. Okay, and now I'm going to look at the shape of the wings again, just to make sure that I really understand how they move. Okay, I got this. Let's try that again. Oh, that's a bit too much. That's pretty good. Okay, I need to make the wings a little bit bigger, I see. I'll keep the 4 feathers, but I'm going to make them a little bit larger than they are on Koromaru's backpack. Makes sense. I did have to scale them up quite large. So it makes sense that I'd have to make the feathers a bit bigger. I think leaving the top one small is actually kind of cute, so I'm going to do that. But I'll go ahead and make the other one just slightly larger. Okay. Then once I round this out just a bit, I think this should look pretty good. So this one's just all going to be in shadow. I will go ahead and put those in now. I think I can just pull the shadow color from over there. Okay. And now I will do the same on the other side. So straight cut. Maybe not that much. Straight cut. Down. Cut. Down. Cut. Down. Okay. So I'm sure this looks super janky. Don't worry about it. This is where we clean. One, two, three, four. Perfect. Okay. And there it is. And now I can add the little bits of shading that I think will help sell this. Make it all look very nice. I don't think I'm going to draw out the buttons yet. I don't think I really need to. I can do those on the back. But I will get everything else ready. Okay, and the next one, put a little bit of shadow at the bottom. I should do that up here too, actually. I'll carry it across. Make this look a little bit rounder, like it's kind of going into the background there. Okay. There, something like this. I think this does what I want it to do. Let me check here. Okay, it is the middle one that has the shortest line. It's like my instinct was to make this one longer. So I'm glad that the artist on Koromaru had the same instinct. Means I was thinking correctly. Look, it's just really nice when I see other artists, especially professional artists, come to the same conclusions that I do. It means that I am very much on the right track, and life is good. That maybe I actually do know what I'm doing. Look, art is hard, and sometimes I feel like I'm just while I talk my way through, like I'm just making stuff up and kind of hoping for the best. So it's kind of nice when I receive confirmation of, hey, maybe you're right about stuff sometimes. Look, it's like I was saying during the Superliminal streams. You'll be hard-pressed to find a person that has no self-doubt within them. And I think that is especially true for people doing creative things, because while it can be taught, And there are certain things that can be replicated and certain rules that can be understood. In the end, we're all just kind of feeling it out. It is much more subjective than a lot of other fields. And I think that's why artists are known for going a little bit crazy. Because I think we can get into states where it's like, we kind of have an idea of what we want to do, but not necessarily any idea of how to actually do it. There's only so much we can do to find that information outside of ourselves. I cannot ask Google how to art good. It's like I can, but I'm probably just going to get fundamentals. And I'm pretty okay there. And a lot of art advice I see on the internet, I don't always think it's bad, but it doesn't always work for me. Like, I can tell you, if you're doing construction lines with circles, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be able to do it. Does not work for me. And yet, I think if I told people that I find it easier to draw heads based on a square than a circle, they'd look at me funny. Because heads are not square. But it works. It's what works for me specifically. But a lot of people will swear by the Loomis method. Or drawing a circle and a shield for the chin. Or some of these other rhythms that exist, and I can't do it. If there's a circle involved, I can't do it. I hate it. Alright. I think I can bring the opacity back up on everything here. Where's the dress? There it is. I guess I'll go ahead and draw the backpack straps while I'm out here. I'm gonna turn off the headphones and make them less ghostly. And I might have to change some things up. Add some lines or something. Because I can already see here the distinction between the dress and the backpack is non-existent. And that's pretty bad. So I will have to do something about that. And I imagine the distinction between her headphones and the backpack straps are also going to be non-existent. Just going to do this for now, just so I know where it is and where these backpack straps should connect. I'm going to go double check references. Kind of on the bottom here. So this should actually be, like, much longer. Should be more like this. So this won't show until I do that view where I take off the coat. But since I've already told myself, yes, I am drawing that view, that is fine. I'm just trying to think about how straps actually wrap around a person, and I imagine that if it went this hard on a chest, no woman would ever be able to stand wearing a backpack, so I'm kind of taking it back. All right. So I just had it curving a little bit too hard. Let's see, center of the chest, probably right about here and here. So I think this is good. But yes, that would have been horribly uncomfortable. It doesn't matter, she's not super busty, it would still just be unbearably uncomfortable. Alright. So I'll let this go into the back there. I want to round it out on her shoulder a little bit. Okay. And then on this side, it's gonna kinda just go onto the other side of the dress. Like this. So I'll just lower the opacity on it, and from there, I can get the shape of the chest and draw accordingly. I think it probably goes a bit steeper than that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and that should be fine. It's all covered by the coat right now anyway. Okay. So I guess as long as she has her coat on, it's actually not really a problem. I guess I should turn her head back on too. This might be mildly disturbing. And her head is just so cute, so it would be such a shame to waste it. Okay. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. I will put in some shading on the back. This way her hair is casting a shadow. And it will also separate her hair from from the wings. I'll let her shoulder cast a shadow too. There. I think that's fine. That is perfect. All right. So I think she's looking pretty cute. Let's go draw the bracelet. So the bracelet, I was not entirely sure what to do with it, so I just kind of doodled something. And I'm wondering if I should keep the blue gem I was initially planning on, or if I should just keep it as like a braided red rope. And the more I think about it, the more I think I want it to just be a braided red rope. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill it. I just want something simple. So I'm making this basically an armband without being an armband. And we'll let it kind of hide under the edge of the coat here. Make it a little bit thicker just so it can go underneath. And I think that will look pretty good. I'm just rounding the shape here so this way it looks like it's sitting on her wrist a little bit better. There we go. But I do not believe I have a shadow color picked for this red. So I will do that right after I get it on her wrist properly. On her wrist and under her coat. Okay. Fluff out that end a little bit. Just due to the texture of the thing that I am currently picturing in my head. I'm gonna lock the layer for now, but I'm gonna have to unlock it soon. Just due to the nature of braids. You already got a taste of how I draw braids with over here, so it's gonna be the same. Okay. I'm gonna put a spot in the center, which you can see is not the center here. It's gonna be a little bit off to the side. Just due to the angle that I picture it sitting on her wrist. So I think that's good. And then I draw the little braided parts. There. And now I make it look good. We're gonna fluff out this side. Let it kind of dig into the other side. And I'll go from there. It'll get some additional shading and stuff afterwards. So I'm going to draw it normally, and I'll take back the parts that are going to be overlapped by the coat in a little bit. But I just think this complements the sweater well. So I think I'll go with this kind of shape. Alright, let's make this a little bit more convincing and nicely shaded and rope-like. So it wasn't necessarily necessary for me to do this with the cardigan pattern, but I do think it is necessary here. I do think that when I draw braids, this is what really makes them look like braids. Okay, and then under normal circumstances, I'd probably add a few little, like, texture lines, but this is small enough that I actually don't think it would look very good. Okay, and that's that. I think that's all I want to do there. Okay. So, let's go do her legs and feet then. Almost there. Alright, I'm just staring for a second. But I think I have it all right. I drew that pretty thoroughly. I just feel like this one might need to go a little bit to the right, but I don't know. When I hit everything, I guess I'll give it one more look. Where's her body? How is it sitting there? Okay, no, I think I can afford to move it a little bit further over. I'm actually going to go put these in the backpack group now. Okay, let's try there. Probably have to adjust some shading, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Actually, I think I can leave it. It's fine. Ordinarily, I'd put it a little closer. Nah, I shouldn't be lazy. I should put it a little closer. Okay, let's not be lazy. It'll look. So it's for the best. Look, when you're doing anything, it's really easy to get lazy. Sometimes I have to force myself not to. But I've gotten good at it. Because there will be times where your brain's just like, man, I don't wanna. You have to say, no, do it. Just do it, brain. Okay. There we go. Okay, I do think that looks a little bit better. Okay, let's go back to the legs. And I'll just go smooth this out. Okay, I think the location of the legs are fine, so I'm actually gonna go do the shoes before the legs. Since the shoes are on top of the legs, and, because I like making my life hard, I initially drew the shoes all on one layer. And actually thinking about it, I have a little bit more detail I need to put on the backpack here because it has these little threads going around. And those would be visible here. And I do like them, so I would like to draw in the ones that are visible at this angle. It's like, look, those little stitches are like the one bit of character design that exists in Koromaru. Just right there. So I would like to draw them. Okay. And I'm not going to draw the shoes on one layer this time. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the general gist of it. And then I'm going to put the details on a separate layer. Because otherwise, I will go insane. Okay. So first thing that's going to go is the wings. They're also going the wrong direction. So those will be drawn after. I will decide how they attach and everything after. And from there, about what I know is that they are a slightly high-heeled sneaker. Just, I don't know, when I looked at the paws here, they just had that slight incline. So I decided to mimic that in the shoes. It is flat at the bottom. But there is that slight incline going up. And I think that should be plenty cute. And let me see, these kinds of shoes, they cut down below the ankle, so I should have this kind of shape. I am going to invert the color of the legs for now. Just so I can see a little bit better. And don't worry, those colors will be thoroughly separated when the time comes. And I also don't feel too bad about erasing all the details and stuff that I put in. Because I had to draw those in order to check the design and make sure I liked it. It was a very important step. But now it is time to make them nice. And they don't look nice like this. And I will have trouble being precise if I don't clear it. So don't worry about destroying your creations. They had it coming. Okay. So I will get the angle of all of this looking nice. There's going to be a little bit of a spot sticking out on the side here. Not that much. Just a little bit. I might even draw it later. Sure, let's do it. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and get this blue in there. Just so this way I can know where the foot is. I can understand it, and I can understand where some of those details have to go. And everything will be neatened up a little bit. Okay, I need to get rid of some of the details here so that this way I can see where the real details will end up going. Okay. I'm just gonna hide that for a second, just so I can kind of see what's going on back here. Gonna drop this straight from the heel, I think. Okay. And there should be absolutely no blue showing when I'm done. Gonna go ahead and define the center line of the shoe here. So with the way I have it designed is basically that there's these slide things that wrap around the toe. And they are tan, as opposed to the white of the toe. I think they should actually curve the other way, though. Don't worry about it, Kanjiro. I don't judge people for just coming when they want to. I think that watching streams should be fun. No need to stress out over it. Just come by and have a good time, and thanks for stopping by. I've drawn a foot. Okay, and give the shoe a little tongue here. There we go. So here I am taking the dog character from Persona 3, Koromaru, and I am turning him into an anime girl. So far I have it mostly done. I just got the feet, and then I'll be moving on to the back view. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have time to do that today. So I'm drawing the front view and the back view of this design. And then I'll probably pull some things out and add some decorations and stuff, because I like making pretty character reference sheets. Well, thank you. I think it's fun to do. I like making reference sheets. So, right now I'm just kind of going in and doing the shoes. I'll zoom out shortly. Okay, let's get this foot on the ground. Okay, that should be good. But yes, there's our little puppy friend. And eventually, the shoe will look more like this, just neater. I just drew the initial one all on one layer, and it would have been suffering to render it like that. So I'm just taking some time to separate it out and make it so I can actually be neat without driving myself insane. Thank you very much. I've been having fun. This one's a little bit different from the designs that I've been doing lately, because I tried to design something that someone would actually wear in the modern day, since that's just how where Persona 3 takes place. And I have not done that in a while. So thinking about actual fashion felt weird. But it was fun to do. Okay. There's the sole of the shoe there, so I should be able to extend outward a bit here. Just where I think it should stick out a bit due to the rubbery part of the sole there. And I want a little touch going into the back, and that'll be like a shadow color on the shoe. And then I'll just pull this little part out. Just a touch. I think I want it to be just a touch rounder as well. Right now it is a little bit boxy. I'm pretty happy with the design here. It's just a matter of drawing everything out at this point. But I think it's just a very, very simple design. But I think it's pretty cute. Just extra fluffy sweater. It looks so cozy. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. Gonna round out the toes a little bit more. Okay, so there we go. That's about all I need. So let's see. That's basically all the shape there. So now I can add in the details. So we're gonna have some white. I think I'll actually do the white lines on a separate layer. Okay. Just so that this way I can move them around a little bit more easily. And I want to make sure that they do not extend into the shoe area proper. Right now it does, but I will erase it. I just want to get them down first. There we go, and now I just don't want them covering the part that's black, because that will be white when all is said and done. Okay. Let's see, I can curve those a little bit better. I can curve this a little bit better, make it a little bit nicer. Let's see, this side needs to kinda come this way. There we go. I just was not satisfied with those curves. I did not feel like they were wrapping around the foot properly. Okay, that's better. That's better. Okay, that does get a little bit straighter back there, so I think that is correct. And there we go. Okay. Alrighty. Oh. I erased too far. There should not be a gap there. Okay. And then I will add the little threads here. Just a tiny little bit of stitching there. Okay, and I think that's it for that. So the center part is white, but I should put a little bit of shading to kind of differentiate the kind of more rubbery part of the toe that I'm picturing in my head and the more kind of recessed area around here. So, you know, something like this. And it'll also make it a little bit easier to differentiate these white stripes from the center of the shoe there. Okay. And now I can draw these little gray lines that I have. They were kind of meant to represent the claws there. Just, I don't know. When I was working on this at the beginning, I felt like everything was a little bit too simplistic, so I just found some places where I could add a little bit more detail. And this was one of them. And I think it worked out, so... So I'm just gonna have 4 little gray lines going across there to represent Koromaru's 4 little claws. Assuming I can draw straight lines. That's always a big assumption. Straight lines are hard. Unironically, I do find them very, very hard. Alright, there we go. That should do. Okay, I'm just kind of thickening them up a little. And let's see, before I move on, do her feet look big? A little bit. Okay. I was gonna say, before I move on, I kind of want to do a little bit of shading, but first, I gotta fix the foot looking big. That's a little bit more important. Okay, so I'm gonna have to redraw some things, and that makes me a little bit sad, but so be it. Okay. Better than leaving everything disproportionate. Okay. Let us repair the white line here. Actually, no, before I do that, I should fix the blue part. Let's see. Should be a little bit more like this. I want mostly the heel to be back. And I want it to be a little bit of a gradual incline here, as opposed to the very sudden one that I had. There we go. Okay. Now I guess I'll grab the threads here, since they got a little bit broken up. And I guess before I can even do that, I gotta repair here, so let's hide the white lines and repair. There we go. There. Okay. And I will fix here now. And I think I will add a little hint of fold right there. Yep, that's sufficient. Okay. It's like this is a foot. People aren't going to be looking real hard at a foot, so it's fine. This is not like the face. I have to rein in the perfectionism. Otherwise I'll be here all day. Okay. So I'm gonna readjust the lines there. That one I think I just have to redraw from scratch, it's fine. Yeah, there we go. Okay, gonna wrap this around this way. and fix up the top, and I think that is better. Okay. Okay, now I can go in and add all the shading that I want. Want a little bit by these lines, because I want them to look a little bit recessed. So they kind of go into the shoe. I think it might be better to do that with highlights, but when it's white, it's kind of hard to use highlights, so unfortunate, but I think that's okay. And then the back, I would like to kind of fade out. Okay, and then I just need to pull the shadow color from there and do the same over down here. Okay. And I think that is sufficient. Alright. So let's do some shoelaces. So that's gonna come... okay, I can't do the shoelaces on this layer. Let's do it on this layer then. So basically, the previous layer, I have it locked alpha to the shoe layer. But shoelaces, they gotta stick out a bit. They can't. Because, like, if it looks like this, that is way less convincing, right? Just the ability to be able to stick out and, look like it has some dimension makes a huge difference to how three-dimensional shoelaces look. Okay. There we go. This will be the last one there. And then there's going to be a little knot here. And, it'll have a little bow. Because if you're gonna have cute shoes, it's gotta have a cute little bow. This is so not in perspective, but it's fine. It's fine for what it is. Alrighty. So now I'm just gonna shade him a little bit, and all should be well. And then I can go do the other shoe, and... I think that is actually the last... Oh no, I have to fix the legs. Yeah, so the other shoe and the legs are the last things I have to do for this front view. And then I can turn her around. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of these little threads that are overlapping shoelaces. They're probably just underneath and it's all good. And I will give them little shadows too. Okay. I think I got everything except the wings. Alright, so let's do the wings. I think that they will attach kinda like right at the back there. So I actually kind of want this layer on top. So we'll let it connect here. It'll be a round spot here. And I will do the Koromaru wing shape again. So out like that. Down like this. And then, no, that's too far. Just kind of comes back up. And there'll be another one on the other side. I'll draw it in a sec. Alright. I think I want it a touch lower. There we go. And I think I want it to recede into the back a little bit. There we go. Just fix the perspective because I drew it wrong. It's fine. Okay. And now I will put in the wing shapes. And I think I'm just going to draw the button on this layer. I don't think I need a new one for it. Cut. Straight. Cut. Straight. And cut. Alright. That's the shape of the wing. Pretty much the same thing I did when I did the backpack wings. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna draw out this one completely, and then I will copy and paste it to the other side. So here we go. This will kind of come back like this. So this part looks nice and round. Nice and round. And then there will be little shadows on the wings. Just tiny little guys. Helping define the wing shape. Just like that. Okay. And then I need a little gray. There's going to be a little button right there. And I guess I will take the color from here in order to just make it look a little more three-dimensional. Okay. Put a little bit of shadow underneath it. And let's see, what color thread are you? Yes, I do believe it is roughly the same color as the cardigan here, so I will do that. Put a little thread on it. Okay. And there we go. That's what they're gonna look like. And now the other one, let's see, it'll connect probably about here. Okay, so the other one's not visible. It is hidden by the leg. Alright, good to know. Okay. So I think that is a completed shoe, so let's go do the other one. And then I will do her legs, and that will be it for the front. Okay. So once again, I'm going to start by just straightening everything out. I'm starting to realize that I think I accidentally made the shoes look a little bit too much like bowling shoes. Oh well. I think it's fine. Okay. So then I will define the middle here. I think I'm actually going to define the middle with the shadow color right from the start. Because this is a front view, so everything is a little bit more foreshortened. So keeping the colors separate will probably do a lot to help me. Okay. Get that toe in there. All right. Okay, and I want to erase the little wings entirely. And I want this to have all the same shapes as the other one. So we're going to have the tongue stick out a bit. I think we see a little bit of this ankle here, so it'll kind of stick out like this. And this part will just kind of come up. So something like this, I think, is correct. Look, this is why I drew the side view one first. Drawing a foot from the front is harder than drawing it from the side, in my opinion. So now that I really know what it looks like here, I can pay attention to how it's going to be here, and I can already see that I think I have this a little bit too tall. So let's pull it down. I'll try to line this part up with how it is here. This side will be a little bit lower, I think, just because if we line up the ground here, this foot is coming a little further forward. So I'm trying to line things up. Just help me draw this thing. Keeping in mind some areas that I think are going to be a little bit different looking. Okay. So I think something like that is pretty good. Kind of want to straighten right here. I do think there should be a slight bump there. But right now it's a little bit strong. Okay. And before I finish that, I'm going to go ahead and start putting in the blue part. I think that will help me read what the foot is doing exactly. So this is kind of what I have in mind here. We start to see it go back just a little bit there, but then perspective makes it such that we do not see this part. So this part is going to be hidden. Okay. I want that to be a little bit neater before I stop, but no. I'll neaten it up a little bit later. I want to get the general gist of the shoe here. Just the general gist. Don't want to get too stuck on things, because I know that if I'm not careful, I definitely will. Okay. I'm just not happy with the smoothness of the edges there, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a bit, just so I can really smooth things out. And now that I know roughly where this blue part is, I can make this part here just a tad thicker. This way I know kind of where that sole sticks out. Okay. Now I can smooth out this part because it makes me happy. I don't know. I just always like when I'm able to get that part of shoes in, because I just think it makes everything look so much better. Just always the little rubbery part that sticks out the bottom. Okay. I'll go ahead and shade it too, because again, it just makes me happy. And I think it'll make the three-dimensionality of this a little bit easier to read too. So let's really bring out the three-dimensionality of all of this. Make sure that I can really understand what's going on. So you can see I'm changing the shape of this a little bit because this does have a little bit of a heel. So I do think that the direction changes a little. So I'm trying to capture that. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I will kind of clean up the outline here. And before I can really do that part that wraps around the foot, I need to know where, or I guess this is the back of the heel. I need to know where the leg is. So I'm not going to detail that yet. That will come a little bit later. Kind of same on this side. I know it's going to do something like that. Don't know exactly how yet. It'll come. It'll come. But I have to know where that foot is. So I'm gonna draw the rest of the foot first. I'm just gonna get everything ready for that, because that is just a quick little thing I can do. And actually, I'm pretty sure that I had a white part going around the edge there, and I should draw that. I think I will do it on the details layer. So it's going to do something like this. And there will be a bit of shadow here on the bottom. There. Okay. I just forgot about that. But I remembered it here. It was a little bit more clear in my mind. Because I knew that I wanted something to do, like, from here, just to go around. And then on the back, it's gonna, like, dip. This is one of those cases of, I know what I'm talking about. It'll make sense when I do a proper turnaround of the foot, or, you know, draw the backside of the foot. When the time comes. Once I turn the character around. Hello there, Tito. I am using Krita, so neither. But if I had to compare, it is more similar to Photoshop. I am not using vector-based programs. So it's all raster. Okay. So let's get that toe defined now. Gonna kind of wrap around like this. I think that is correct. Or at least fine enough. kind of want to straighten things here a little. There we go. I think that's good. And... okay. So I guess I can start doing details. So first, I guess I'll do the little stitches. I think they're very cute. So this one's going to get a little bit cut off. So he kind of goes behind the toe. Okay, and so from here, I think we see, and yeah, I don't think we really see much of the stitches here. I think they start coming back out right around here. But otherwise, they're kind of there behind the toe. I am not convinced I have the proportions of this foot correct. I feel like it is fat. So I'm gonna squish it. Flatten it. I wouldn't know. I've never used Illustrator personally. It's like I don't know like what your drawing skill level or experience is, or what is the problem here, or if you've drawn in other places. But, you know, art is hard. So it's basically impossible for me to say whether or not it's a bug with the program or not. I know very little about Illustrator. Okay, that's a little better. Alright, I'm just cleaning up the edges after I liquefied it, because liquefy always makes things a little bit blurry and I don't like it. So I just always kind of smooth things out one more time after I liquefy. Okay, and the threads, I think I just have to redraw entirely. Oh, that's right, I forgot that this was also on that layer. Don't want to erase that. That part's fine. Okay. So, boop. No, I want to start from the top. There we go. So that this way it can disappear right through there if necessary. I do think that this toe covers part of it, and then they start showing up again back there. I think that is... okay. That looks a little bit better. I think it's fine. Alright, I guess I'll go do the white lines now. So those will kinda start here and just go down. Is that the right spot? No, it's a little closer. Right here and go down. There we go. They'll just wrap around the foot here. Just gonna wrap around. Okay, and I want to double check where I put it. It does go up near the top there, so I might actually have these a little bit too far down. Yeah, I think I do. Okay. So it's more like this. Yes. This one will come down. And this one will come here and go down. And that matches up with what I drew over here. So I'll leave them a little bit messy for now. I will straighten that up in a bit. I just want to make sure I'm happy with placement and how it's wrapping around the foot first. Okay, and that looks pretty good. So location's good, so let's make them pretty. Get a consistent thickness. And just, you know, a nice smooth edge with no gaps. And I will trim off the edges back there after I have everything else drawn. I always find that easier than doing it as I go. Gives me lots of room to get these, to get the curve of this all in. Make everything nice and smooth. Okay. All right, so got the white lines. Next, I'll get the gray lines on the toe. And before I do the wings on this one, I do want to get the legs. So this, I think I'll do this and the shoelaces. And then I'll worry about the toe. Or not the toe, the leg. The toe is what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I see it used for that kind of thing a lot. Excellent. Drawing's fun. Let's see. I don't like it. Let's try again. What kind of things do you draw? There we go. Okay, need to clean up this a little bit, but that's fine. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and grab my shadow color there and just do the little bit of shading that I think it needs. This is probably unnecessary since it's so invisible anyway, but oh well, here I am. Okay, I'll draw a few kind of folds on the tongue here. Just something kind of like that. All right. Now, shoelaces. So, the toe is kind of covering up the spot that would go straight across, so I'm going to go jump right in. Just going back and forth. One more. And there we go. Little knot here. Big old bow. I will have to erase some things that should not be on top there, but that's fine. I can do that. Okay. Now we'll grab the shadow color. And that is not the right color. There we go. And now I can just start getting the few shadows in there that I need. I'm not being super particular about it all. It's all good. I can afford to be a little bit messy here, I think. It's all good. Ah, I see. Yeah, I've seen people do like what I call hourly comics, where people draw what they did for the past hour, and that looks like a kind of an interesting challenge that I was thinking about trying it sometime. But I don't think I can sit down and draw every hour with the way my life is currently structured. So I'd probably have to just do it from memory, but I think I can do that. Sounds like a great way to get started. I, too, would like to draw some comics someday. Alright, seems fine. Okay. So I'm just gonna quickly draw on the legs here. And then I can kind of see where the back of the shoe should go and how it should wrap around the leg there. Let's see, I'm actually having a little bit of a hard time visualizing this, so I'm gonna hide the dress for a second. And kinda, well, I tore apart this leg pretty thoroughly, but it's fine. I can draw a little bit of it. Okay. I think the calf muscle does something more like that. We get an ankle in there. And I'll just pull it on up. Oh, no wonder. Zoomed in to 133%. For some reason in Krita, that just always looks terrible to me. So I gotta make sure to zoom in a little bit more or zoom out a little bit more. Either or is fine as long as I am not at 133. Alright. So let's see, I kind of have the calf out there. We're gonna go into the ankle here. So it's gonna be kind of like this. Ankle kind of sticks out a bit here. And here. And there we go. And now... that's a little bit too big on that side. I think this side is fine, though. And now I will know roughly where to wrap the shoe around her foot. Okay, and I just want to get the muscles of the leg in there, so this way she doesn't look like ultra sickly skinny. And hopefully it all looks nice. Okay. And yeah, looks like I will be able to get started on the back view today, which is exciting. Okay. Let's see, there's a couple of areas that's not smoothing the way I want, so I will go ahead and zoom in a bit so I can make them a little bit more smooth. And let's see, the ankle here, I think it's in the right spot. I just need to bring this a little further down. Just so that the ankle there doesn't look like a heel. Okay, and I think that's fine. Let's put the dress back on. Okay. Gotta tone that back a little bit. That's fine. Alright, looks good. She looks firmly on the ground and everything. Most excellent. Okay. So now I can finish off the shoe here. Oh, I have the belt layer hidden still? Okay. I should fix that. Must have got turned off when I was working on the backpack. Alright. So I want a little bit here. Little bit here. I do think that the shoe is a bit tighter than this, so I will fix that. But let me just get these parts in. No, I should just do this layer. Okay. Okay, there we go. Just gonna kind of straighten some things out there. I will have to fix those white lines, but that's very doable. Just trying to get this to wrap around her ankle a little bit more nicely. So this is where the heel actually is. Okay, so something like that. I think I might have made her ankle a little bit big. So I'm going to tone that back a little bit. A little bit big and a little bit high. Okay. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So let's fix those white lines. And then I can draw those cute little wings. Oh yeah, and I guess I should also make this inside part white. There we go. And I think I want the tongue of the shoe to be a little bit wider at the top. Just kind of let it stick out a little bit. There we go. Okay, yeah, looks good to me. Let's go do some wings. So let's see, where do you... Oh. Okay. So where do the wings connect here? I think it's gonna be like right here and on the back on this side. So it's kind of like right there. And let's see, how high off the shoe do you stick? You're connected to like the white part. So like right here. gonna come off and just go back. That perspective is completely wrong, but it's okay. And I think I'm just... We mostly see this one from the side, so I think it's gonna do something like this. Okay, let's fix the perspective on this one. Send it back. Make it a little bit bigger to compensate. Turn it a little. Perfect. I think that is perfect. Okay, and I do think we still see the, like, slightest little hint of the feathers here. They're not going to be as strong as all the other ones, but I do think we see them. So this is going to be on the back side of the shoe here, so I think I'm just going to draw this entire one in shadow. And we'll see the button on this one, but not on that one. Okay, looks good to me. So I will draw the shadow bits now. So it's kind of like this, and then we get the feathers of the wings kind of coming in. And then the little button, right like this. Just attaching it onto the side of the shoe there. I'll put its little shadow shape on. He's just kind of going to be at the... mostly at the bottom here. And then a little thread in the middle. And there we go. I guess I'll put another little shadow here. And a little guy right there. Give the button a little bit of presence. Alright. Let's go shade the legs. And that will be the end of the front view. And then I turn her around. Oh. There we go. Just a little bit of thing not looking good there. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, I think that is a completed front view. Phew! I think she looks very cute. I am, pretty happy with the design overall. It's very simple, but I think it's nice. I just realized how significantly more detailed the shoes are compared to, like, literally everything else, but it's okay. Alright. So I think I'm happy, so I'm gonna... I guess I'll keep this guy over here for reference, just in case I need it. But... yeah, I won't be using that one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mirror the layer horizontally and then go ahead and just, you know, in theory, move her all the way to the side. This way, they can stand together. Okay, and then the rest of today is just going to be doing the easy parts, the low-hanging fruit, and the parts that are going to be the easiest to turn around. Wait just a little bit longer to get it over there. To be fair, my canvas is very big. I like working on big canvases. Okay. I've fallen asleep. Alright. So, the first thing I want to do is, Let's get rid of some things that I already know will not be showing at all. So that's going to be things like this hairpin will not be there. So I'll remove that. Her eyes are not going to be there. So we'll remove those. The face and blush will not be there. So remove all of that. And at some point, I'm just going to have to... Actually, her bangs won't be there either. And then at some point, I'll just draw the rest of her hair. I don't know if any of her head is going to show, so I'll leave the head layer there for now. Okay. And then some things that are at the top will be moved to the bottom. I think I can actually leave these here. The cups might show, so I'll leave it. Okay. So this, the coat buttons will disappear. And I'll just go ahead and do the very easy... connect this all the way around. And I'll get rid of the line where it would open up on the front view. Actually, that shading doesn't need to be there, so... Okay. There we go. Now we have the back of the coat there. And I'll go ahead and get rid of the shading around here. All right. I'll go ahead and get rid of some of my extra layers. I'll keep them on the front just for fun, I guess. And I guess I can turn the details back on even though they're all wrong right now. I will have to change them considerably for the back, unfortunately. I'm admittedly not looking forward to that, but it's fine. Okay, I don't think anything about the dress here changes. I guess it'll change a little bit underneath the jacket there. Oh, yeah, that also reminds me. The collar actually goes all the way around the neck, so there's no V there. Okay. So it'll change underneath the jacket, but otherwise does not. I don't really want to turn around the feet right now because that's absolute nightmare. I will do it later. Okay. So the backpack will now be coming to the front. So I'm actually going to bring that all the way up to the front. I think it just goes even above the head. And on that, the wings will be on top of everything else. And they're not super visible right now, but that's fine. Go ahead and color this one in white. And some of this is probably going to need a little bit of adjustment. That is also fine. Okay. Anything else I can get away with getting rid of? We don't need a... no, I'll keep the belt. When I have the view that hides the jacket, the belt will show, probably. I need to change her hands, I don't know. Okay. So I guess I'll start sketching in the hair. And I think the way that's gonna work here is... I'm gonna have a spot that kinda goes up and across here. And then all these curls are gonna change. And let's see, the back hair. Back hair can come all the way to the top now. And it will be the solid white. And I will make that look good later. And then I think the hair will actually like curl the other direction now, where we have a part kind of coming down here and then it just fans out wildly from there. So probably something like this. Okay. So I think it does something like that. With maybe like some loose hairs down by the neck. And then these little ear thingies are going to be in shadow. So I will just draw the whole thing like that. And the rest I will figure out later. So there we go. That's the start of that. Perspective on backpack. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move it. Oop. Let me see. How should this actually look? There. Okay. And if I go to the coat layer, I can start kind of figuring out where this arm should sit. I think it's more like this. And then I actually think I probably want this arm be a little bit more this color, so I'm gonna have to redraw much of the pattern, but you know, that's kind of expected. Okay, make that look a little bit more like her front side is gonna submerge in the shadows as it does. Okay, and I'm not quite satisfied with how her backpack is sitting on her back still. Okay, and that should be good enough. So I guess I just have to turn the feet around, and I really don't want to right now, so I don't think I will. Let me go change the color of the backpack here. Because now it's actually gonna be the light, except the side. Side stays in shadow. Thank you. It's actually amazingly easy to turn things around like this, so. Okay, I think that all sans feet all looks correct, so I can worry about decorating all the backpack and stuff now. I guess I'll go try to color this. I should have erased my color variation there instead of coloring on top of it, so that's a bit unfortunate. I'm just gonna have to redraw all of that. And then I think I'm gonna have to redraw most of this. So I'll just go ahead and clear it for now. This part can stay, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I feel like everything's gotten a good start, so I'll go ahead and smooth out the coat shape here. So where's my backpack layer? I'll go ahead and hide that, just so I can kind of smooth out the little bits that I added here, and kind of get started on shading it. And I think that's about where I'll end, because I don't really want to draw a coat pattern right now. I don't really want to turn around feet. I might anyway. We shall see. Okay, so let's get this wrapping around her neck properly. Sitting right there, looking nice and comfortable. Okay. I guess I'll do a little bit on the headphones. I think this is going to come above now. And yeah, we're not going to see a lot of this. And what we see instead is just going to be a little kind of strap here, wrapping around the neck. It's nice and tight, so I don't want it to be too large. I think it actually goes the other way. Hold on. Yes, it goes this way. There we go. Just kind of perfecting out the whole shape here. And then I think the cups of the headphones, I will actually be moving to the bottom. Because I do think that they might show a little bit. Probably not very much. But nonetheless, they might show a little. So I'll put them there, and I will just cover it in shadow. Okay. So now the code is on, and all that is on. Let me see, do I need to change the angle of the sleeves at all? Nah, I think it's fine as is. Okay, let's get some of the basic shading on the coat. Okay. And then I want some around the backpack. Backpack's gonna cast a shadow here. And then maybe a few folds just due to the nature of the jacket kind of expanding down there. I think it'll just make it look a little bit softer. I'll send this one like all the way down. Okay, just something like that. I guess I might as well smooth it out, and I should do the sleeve too, since I'm no longer just burying it in shadow. So let's see, probably got one there, one right around here, doing something like this. It's all bunching up at the bottom, so just keeping those shapes nice and triangular. I think folds look nice when they're nice and triangular. I want a little bit here for kind of where the arm connects to the torso. Alright, so something like that I think will look good. Maybe... Nah. This is fine. Okay. Let's just go smooth that out. And that will be good. I'll let this one get a little bit bigger like this. Yes. Just spinning around. Okay. I'm keeping these a little bit rounder than I normally would because I'm picturing this as, you know, super, super thick cloth. So it doesn't, it kind of bunches together more. Whereas, you know, very, very thin cloths would, be a little bit smoother looking. So this is gonna have a bunch of rounder kind of shapes going with it. Still kind of triangular. They're just not pointy triangles. There we go. Something like that. Okay, so I think that's good. I guess I'll go bring the hand back forward, since I have decided I'm drawing it like that, I guess. So I will pick shadow colors and stuff. And we'll let this guy have actual shading now. Okay, and I want to do the same for the nails, where I let them be just bright now. And I just give them a little bit of shading on the side because it makes me happy. Okay. Alright, so from here, I guess I'd start fixing up the hair and start decorating the backpack. So let's see. I want to kind of put the basics of the hair in. I guess I can. It looks like her head doesn't show at all, so I'm just gonna remove it. Okay, so how should all this hair be shaped? I don't want to break the silhouette. I want the silhouette of the hair to be the same as the front. So I will be very careful to keep that the same. And I'll just figure out how I think that all this hair actually goes. Let me look at it. Okay. Let's see, I think that I want this part to be all shadowed. So I'm guessing that's all here. That's fine by me. And then I'm gonna start kinda connecting this, and I'm still looking at where that hair comes from. I am gonna grab the layer again from the front view and use it as a reference to kind of help me out. Okay, so this is just a little reference to kind of help me out. I will be deleting this layer. But nonetheless, I do think it'll kind of help me out. So it wraps around kind of like that. So I probably want it to start going around like this. Trying to keep some of the same shapes here. And then on this side, let's see, they kind of wrap around from there, so maybe more like this. This kind of shape. They're a little higher up. And then the rest I can just make a kind of strandy and whatever kind of looks nice. Just make it look like it's being pulled around to the front. Okay, and the back hair I can mess around with a little bit. I don't want to change too much about it, but I didn't neaten it up very much. So I can change a little. Only a little. Oh, sneeze. Okay. Okay. So I believe that's the start of the hair here. I think that's probably enough for me to kind of get started on making it look nice tomorrow. Doesn't look quite as cute in the back, but I think it's okay. All right. So I think that's most of the big changes there. So I will have to redo most of the knit in the cardigan here. And then I guess I can do the quick cast shadow from the coat onto the dress here. That's super fast. And then I have to turn the feet around at some point. That'll be a thing. Oh no, it's all good. I feel fine. But, yeah, so I guess tomorrow, hair and decorating the backpack. I think that's gonna be the big thing. I've already designed it back here, so I am ready. Someday I'll turn the feet around. It'll be fine. Right now, she'll just have, a very flexible ankles. Okay. But I think that'll be good for today, so I think that this is where I will stop. So there we go. Got the front done, got probably a good half of the back done, just because duplicating the layer does a lot of the work for me. And then from there, I want to do a view with the jacket off so you can see what the dress looks like. I'll probably do jacket and backpack off back here. And then I'll probably do a proper turnaround of the shoes in general. Maybe. But yeah, this design is simple enough that I don't really feel the need to pull a lot of things out and do detailed sketches of them. I might do one of the headphones. But everything else I think is quite clear because the design is very simple. Okay. Well. That will be what's coming in the, next week. But I think this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.